Moving. We're moving.
That's right.
We like it.
Oh, yeah.
Welcome to our Friday live streams. I am Josh from Jazz Sands in LA, alongside my boys, Adventures with David,
Hey, everybody.
theCrashz3ro. Yeah, one of these days I'm gonna get this right. I keep going in like I keep putting myself in different boxes and stuff.
It's the Brady Bunch. Like,
We're like Usher thinking he's getting the middle square, but he's like on the side corner. So tonight, I figured we would do, we would just continue on with our conversation from last week, and we can just kind of move from there. There's a couple things I want to get to first, in which case, I guess I'll just go ahead and, let's go ahead and do this. Let's Crash introduce yourself, and then David introduce yourself, and then I'll get this stuff up.
So I am theCrashz3ro. I am a content creator here on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Twitch, and X. So I do a lot of theme parks and food reviews and kind of like daily life vlogs and gaming.
The good stuff.
Yeah.
The good stuff. And David, which adventures are you on?
My adventures are everywhere. So yes, my name is David. I host Adventures with David on YouTube. I do X. This time I know that one. X, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, you name it. I go to it. I try to hit up every single convention there is and every single thing there is here in Southern California. And I try to showcase to you guys as much as possible, from vendors to cosplay, and also what to do around here. So that's where I come in.
There's not very much to do down here in LA. That's one thing we know. We're kind of. If anybody has any ideas, let us know. There's nothing to do.
Look, you just run 800 videos of mine.
starting hot. I wonder who she's here for.
That's cracking, yo.
Okay, before we do anything, if anybody hasn't seen any of the Universal vlogs or anything from this week, we got big time news, and that's the big news right there. We got our first look at pseudo look at the cars for the Fast and Furious Hollywood Drift ride. Obviously, this is camo wrapped, just like they do with real cars, and the tires aren't on it yet. This is the first day. Yeah. Wait, what?
Zebra.
It's a zebra. This is from Monday. I guess they brought him out again on Wednesday. I know Mondo was able to get a pretty good shot, and a follow of mine on X, Universal High, was able to get like a ton of shots. So if you go to those places, you'll get some other vantage points. I got this one, and then like a really bad side vantage point. But fellas, your thoughts? Dave, you go first.
Oh, I'm ready. I don't know if I would be able to ride this attraction, but I am so for this. Now, again, was I hoping for a Toretto car, a Skyline, a Suki's car? Yes, yes. I mean, I would be remiss to say no, but yes, I have to say yes on that one. But yeah, do I think this is really good? I'm not okay with the zebra looking design, but I'm all for, if you actually, like, right there at that point right there, if you actually look at the ride vehicle, I don't know if they're gonna have the straps down here or they're gonna go full on Velocicoaster.
It looks like it's going to be shoulder harness, man.
Is it?
It looks.
Okay.
Well, I don't know. It's tough to tell because this is from behind. But I thought that those little white bars along the sides there, I thought those were like.
Well, that's what the thing is nowadays, right? The new coasters have the shoulders,
like how they were going to do with Montezuma,
right?
I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait and see. Is Velocicoaster a shoulder harness, or is it just a lap bar?
Just lap bar.
Is it a lap bar?
Who knows, man? I mean, I know this is
Is it a shoulder?
I don't know. I don't know.
I'm pretty sure it was a lap bar because someone said when you go up into that certain point, they feel like they're ready to fall off for the entire attraction.
Yeah, it's definitely a lap bar.
Now, what's the speed for Fast and the Furious?
I don't know yet. You know what? I do kind of know. So I know when it shoots you up, when you go through that little inversion at the bottom, and it loops you back around, it's got to shoot you back up the hill. They said it's like 72 is what the launch is there.
Dang, I thought it was 88.
And that would, well, that's a different ride. That's a different ride for a later time.
That's just David's speed right there. David said between 70 and 90 is as far he'll go. So that's the safety
as long
zone.
as he can get back in time. That's all that matters.
That's dope, though. That's pretty cool. And you
Yeah,
know
but
what, guys,
that's
in the chat right now, can we get like a clap on this one? Because it was great to see Josh actually posting about this.
Yes.
He was so excited. We were excited when
was
he was
very
showing
excited.
us. And I was like, dude, you have to post this as soon as possible. We were so happy for him. What a moment.
Yes.
That was awesome.
Yeah, it was cool. I rarely get to be the guy that's on the scene when
On the scene,
stuff
yeah.
breaks. I always miss it by like a day.
So what do you speculate when they will start testing this?
So I was there. I was there with Theme Park Wizard. He was there too. He was the guy that actually that Mondo posted all of his stuff.
Oh, okay.
But he got basically the same shots that I did. He's like the permit guru. He's got some sort of weird backdoor. Oh, thank you, Danielle. Appreciate that. All the applause. Into whatever site it is that that pulls permits, that the theme parks pull permits for. And he said that the testing is supposed to be starting this month. Now, I don't know if that means full-on ride testing or pull-through testing, which is what I think they were doing this week. I think they were starting the pull-through testing, which, I mean, that really won't take that long. But I don't think they can. I don't think they can start actual ride testing until they get those sound shields up, which I wish. David, did you go at all this week or no?
So I had a source and actually I would have showed you, but I wasn't able to get the proper okay from him to send it to you. But there are pillars up. There
Yeah,
are official pillars being up, and it looks like it's pretty much they're gearing up for the sound barriers now.
Let me see if I can find.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah,
he
so
showed me,
and apparently they're huge.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, he showed me this morning, and it was like, "What? This is awesome."
Yeah, it looks dope. It's going to be super cool. Shoot, man, I can't find
Universal Creative. I've said this in my video. I'm pretty sure everyone else has. You guys are the masters at building a roller coaster. And I had to tell you guys and commend you guys for this because Knott's Berry Farm and Knott's Creative needs to get better at this because they still have a shell of an attraction known as Montezuma's. Like, come on.
I know it. And it's going on. What are we going on? 3 years now?
3 years? 4 years. Right?
4 years? Oh my gosh. That's unnecessary. That's uncalled for.
Because
there's no reason.
They still need to transform that station to match the carts.
Yep.
Yeah, they haven't even started on that yet.
No, they haven't.
So they're gonna Booker T it where it says 5 time, 5 time, 5 time.
The old Booker T maneuver. I thought Universal High would have posted it too. I thought he did. Let me see. Okay, so let me bring this up real quick.
Just think of the pillars that they have there now, and then superimpose, but make it bigger into like 2 different sizes, 2 times that size. That thing is huge.
It's ridiculous. Okay, let me pull this up, and we'll see what we're looking at here. This I don't know if this is going to do it justice or not, but we'll see. Let me also take the what's it called off too. So here's what. I don't know if that's the inversion, but he got. I mean, this is obviously the tram.
What's up, Brucey?
I don't know if this is it. So there's where it shoots you up. That's where it shoots you up the hill. So you're going 77 up this thing, the thing on the top there, I think. The thing on the bottom, because it shoots you up into that big tall.
That's what they started.
There it is. That guy right there. Yeah.
That's when they started the pillars.
Yeah. Okay.
So they have those, and they had some other ones on the other side. Oh, there they are, right there.
Oh, here we go. Yes. There you go.
Was that them?
That's ridiculous.
Wow. Wow.
This is so stupid. Man, I wish he had a better video. Maybe he does. Maybe I'm tripping. Okay, there's the Dracula. Okay, I know. Oh, if you know, you know. Taco Bell nuggies. Anyway, yeah. So, yeah, I guess those pillars got installed, and now it's like a. Uh-oh, what did I do?
You broke it.
This is why I shouldn't be doing this. Yeah. So moving along, that was just kind of what I wanted to show with.
That's good. That shows that they're jumping
Universal.
on it and they're making they're on top of it. Moving
So,
fast.
like David said, the Universal their cruise, like he said that their big motto. One of the guys I talked to on site, he said that their big thing is they want to, what was it? Is it under promise and over deliver is what it was. I think is over deliver and under promise or something. So I feel like they're saying 2026 just to give themselves a safety net, but I feel like they want to do this year.
Right.
So my guess is still going to be Grinchmas. I know a lot of people say that they're going to be testing this thing for like 6 months.
Well, the big drop for Christmas.
They'll test it, and I think they'll be building all of the scenic at the same time.
Right.
So I don't know. They can do all kinds of stuff.
When does the movie come out?
Next year, I think February or March. I think.
Do you think they'll probably release it closer to the movie to promote movie and ride?
I thought that was the deal. I thought that was the whole thing, but.
But there was murmurs around that they wanted to actually get this done. Well, talked about last year where they wanted to get it done in December and actually do some, kind of testing with their people in a sense, with their press, in December, and then release it in January or February. But then I heard another murmurs where they're going to do it. They were actually talking about 2025 in December, where they're going to start doing testing for their PR group. And then it's go time in January, February. So,
right.
I mean, like you said, you made a good point. They're going all cylinders right now. So, I can see it. I can see it in December.
Okay, so I know both of you guys go to Universal all the time. What is the word about Simpsons Land? Will that be shut down before its time?
So we do. I mean, the last thing I heard about Simpsons was it could go down as early as next year.
Correct.
And will that be a expansion to Fast and the Furious? Or will that be something totally different?
I was talking to my buddy from Back to the Future.
And the star of the chat right there.
Aww.
If y'all know, if you know, you know.
Hearts in the chat, guys. Hearts in the chat. That's what hearts in the chat.
Can you say hi? Can you say hi? Say hi.
Yeah, tell your she's dad like, I don't even know. Fast and Furious next year.
What do you think about Fast and Furious next year?
Family.
That's it, family.
I think it's okay. So I think this is the final year for Simpsons. Now, are they just going to get up and move it? Possibly not. But it's going to be a lot of negotiations happening all of 2026. But I would love it because I talked to people at the Back to the Future land, and they were stating that could we see Hill Valley up on the top now?
Really?
Back
it
to
was
Hill
a
Valley,
hit
huh?
for FanFest. I mean, it was.
Yes. Was that a test to see how they can do it on the top level? I mean, who knows, right?
But it's
out of FanFest. That's the only thing everyone talked about. Was Back to the Future.
Yeah, exactly. That was the big thing. Was Back to the Future for sure.
I asked people, how's One Piece? It's like, what? One Piece.
Well, you know what's funny about that is the One Piece sold all the merch. Every bit of One Piece merch sold. Gone.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Crazy.
So I was kind of wondering. That's why I asked, how's One Piece? I'm like, well, I don't know. I went to see Back to the Future.
Okay, was it just me? I heard this from people Did they actually do One Piece licensing the day of the opening day?
Bro, that would be hilarious.
Was
Wow.
that true?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I didn't even think about that. I would have thought they would have had to bag that license when they started advertising.
That's what
Right?
I was saying. Someone actually was mentioning that they didn't even have the license at all yet until the opening day. So they were pulling their characters until the day of. Now again, don't like go crazy in the chats or whatever else to
Yeah.
me. I heard that
Right.
from someone, and I just want to ask you guys because I wasn't sure. That's
Yeah,
crazy
I'm
if
not
that
too sure on
is.
that.
I wanted to show you guys because we were talking
What
about
is that?
Simpsons. So this is what Simpsons Land looked like in 2014, right? This is when they started building Simpsons Land, I believe.
Uh,
No, that can't be right. Maybe expanding Simpsons because I think the ride was there already.
Is on the
yeah,
other
'cause
Um,
that
side,
was
yeah.
Back to the Future, right?
Yeah,
and
right.
this is
Wasn't it?
what it ended up looking
That
like.
was okay.
Because I think I want to say the Simpsons ride came in like 2007
Oh,
or something. The
yes, because
ride.
that right there, if you actually go to the second image, that right
Yeah.
there, you guys remember this? That used to be the where the Jaws was. You know, with all the carnival attractions.
So yeah. So
That's where it was.
on the far left
Oh,
over here by the what's it called? By the studio tour entrance, they used to have the big jaws.
Correct.
And they also used to have street performers out there. It was
Yes.
like a marching band kind of thing.
oh, right, right, okay.
Uh, but yeah, but I thought this was an interesting kind of bit of history because it kind of it puts it into perspective a little bit. This is from obviously the studio tour, um, but like just how kind of low key that part of the park was. Um, that being said, Doc Brown's chicken was awesome. Um, it's not the
Yeah, it
same
was.
anymore. It used to be Doc Brown's chicken. Now it's like Cletus's chicken or something.
Peter's chicken, yeah.
Um, but yeah, so when the Simpsons ride was in, it wasn't even a full Simpsons land. You know what I mean? So now they have this giant structure, right? This giant structure. I'm gonna go back to the other ones. The other one's better. Um, that they're gonna have to
Yeah.
tear down and
Mhm.
reskin, but the skeleton is there.
Yeah.
So that's good. So it shouldn't take as long as Simpsons
Yeah.
Land, whatever
Right.
they decide to do with it.
True. True.
I just
But
you were
what,
talking about Simpsons Land.
like, say if they make a dark ride, what dark ride for Back to the Future, if speculation of Back to the Future was to come back, what would they do?
They
I
got to redo the attraction, but make it in modern times.
so I heard this is from a source. I don't know how true it is, but it's a close friend of mine that worked at the park for quite a while. He said that they're thinking about just knocking that whole building down.
Oh, really?
He said they might just because he said the problem is, and and this is the main problem with the Simpsons ride in general, is it's such a slow loading ride. Even though there's so many, there's like 50 simulators or 60 simulators or something in there, and it takes for that's why that line is constantly at 40, 50, 60, 70 minutes.
Hmm.
It's not even
It's
that
always
long of a
long.
line. We went in there with um, express passes. Jumped right up to the front, and from where we stopped, which was right when you walk through. I don't know if you guys have been in that building,
Yeah.
but there's like a showroom, and then where the lines merge, you go in and they put you in line for the actual ride.
Right.
And from there, it must have. Babe, how long did it take to get on Simpsons from the front of the line? Like 25 minutes?
Yeah, I'd say half an hour.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah, it took like a half an hour just from
Yeah.
there. So,
Wow.
like, I think they have to figure something out with that, whether that's demoing that building and putting something new there altogether. I'm kind of for that. Now, here's another thing that could be kind of cool is Fast and Furious, this roller coaster is a success. I'm sure it's going to be. Who's to say they don't put another hillside roller coaster over there?
True.
I mean, the tram tour is probably not going to be over there anymore. It's looking more and more like they're moving that back downstairs.
You think so?
So that's what it's looking like. If you go back and look at videos of what it used to look like before they moved it,
Right.
it's. I mean, it looks like they're widening the space down there so that they can move the tram through. The only issue is going to be a turnaround somewhere. They're going to have to put a turnaround in there, because they have that giant raptor paddock there now. I don't know what kind of problems that's going to pose, but
Right.
it's looking more and more like that might be where.
Interesting. Well, everybody keeps saying expansion to Harry Potter is more possible at the last
Yeah, I'm
warehouse for the tram.
listen. I'm not fully against a Diagon Alley kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Just basically using the Fast and Furious building for like the Diagon Alley station, and then have your own little expansion down there.
Do you think where that circle is, where they usually have Whoville, that's going to be where all the Fast and Furious cars are at, and with the Fast and Furious like actors?
I don't even think it's going to touch that spot.
You
I
think
think
so?
it'll. No, I think it'll take Falls Lake and where the Nope set is now. That's my guess, because those are right next to the Fast and Furious building. And from what I heard, again, this is all just
speculation.
Yeah, this is like David says. This is water cooler, or is it you, Crash, that says it? It's David says
it. David.
Water coolers. Yeah. This is just stuff that I hear from different people that have worked in the park and been in the park a bazillion times, historians, whatever. This is what they tell me. Because they don't really use that area for Falls Lake anymore, because they can just use sound stages. They've got all those sound stages in the back now. Right. Those are big. Those are big sound stages back there.
Yeah.
So they just they don't want to spend the money to fill that thing up filled with water, and use that giant blue screen.
Right.
It's right now. It's just truck storage. So
it is, yes.
What I'm told is if they do that, if they go the Diagon Alleyway, they'll use the tram station that's there now. That's going to be Hogwarts Express.
Mm-hmm.
You'll go down. It'll take you down to. I don't know if it's going to be like it is over in Universal in Orlando, because that's like a legit monorail on a trail. I mean, I guess they could do that. I guess they could just build a rail and just have a railway go down like that. Right. It's kind of hard because there's so many access roads to take that. So they would have to build it up over, which again they could do. Right. You can just have it kind of ramp up and go over and then come back down, and then they'll have the Diagon Alley down there where Nope and Falls Lake is. Again, not against that. I think if you're going to utilize that area, that's a pretty good way of doing it. And people do like that area in Orlando. Yeah. I just personally I'm against all these parks just cutting and pasting all the time. Like, here's the thing. Make me want to go to Orlando. If I have Universal Studios here, don't just put the same park here that's over. Make me want to go over there. Yes. And likewise with people in Florida, make people in Florida want to come visit this Universal Studios. Something make them different. Yes. Make people from Japan come and want to visit this one. And not just, I don't know, whichever one is closest, we'll just go there because they're all the same.
Right.
I don't want to see all, and that's why a lot of people talk about wanting a Monsters Land like Dark Universe. And again, I'm all for that, because I think Universal not paying homage to Monsters, which is the properties that made the studios in the first place, is kind of it's not a great look. But
are like the queues much bigger and bigger at different locations than they are here at our theme parks? Like, everyone's queue is much different.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I've never been to any other Orlando or any other Universal Studios, so, but I know the queue for Ministry of Darkness, the Ministry ride at Epic Universe, gets a lot of love because it's the size of the Mall of America.
140 minutes, love.
No thanks. I know. 140 minutes for a dark ride? Nah, I'm good. I'll spend 20 minutes going on. I'll go on Monsters Unchained a couple times. Thanks.
Yeah, it's insane.
See,
it's
what I would love in a studio tram tour, I think at the most part we might see Nope possibly be going away soon. And then that attraction, see, if they're not going to make a Hill Valley, why don't you bring the dark ride into where Fast and Furious is.
Yes.
I mean, technically, if you kind of think about it, Doc Brown kind of gave us a little bit of breadcrumbs there because he did say he made a studio tram tour into a back to the into a DeLorean, kind
That's
Mm-hmm.
of
right.
into a time machine.
Yeah.
That's right.
So he
I,
sprinkled it in there. A lot of people didn't listen, and I did. I listened to that because I'm like, are you saying what I'm thinking about? You're about to say, and then they actually sprinkled even more where they started putting the out of time on the studio tram tour. I'm like,
yeah.
Oh,
oh my gosh, let's do this.
yeah.
It
That's
just
interesting.
it makes sense because now
Who was
you've
it?
got
I was talking. I think one of you guys I was talking to because Universal made those new sound stages. So now the sound stages behind Jurassic are pretty much obsolete. So they can add more that direction
Mhm.
because they added new ones further away.
and
So you think that'll be
again,
possible either for
well,
a Super Mario World or something different?
that's what I'm told there too is again another copy paste. They want to do a Donkey Kong expansion um, that way back to where those two it's what
It's
is
two
it
stages, right?
is it 13 and 14 or 14 and 15
Right. I
Uh,
know they're iconic.
the ones that
Iconic
they're always
stages.
shooting in.
yeah, fifth,
They're not
14.
going to touch 12. They'll never touch Soundstage 12. That's the original. That will stay
Original.
there. If they do anything, you know what they should do with that? They should bring back the House of Horrors and put it in there.
Yes,
That's what they should do with
yes,
it.
Wow.
100%.
Yeah,
Wow.
that would be because that's like multi-leveled, you know, um,
That's
callback.
right.
So hey, look who finally made it, Faith Keepers! It's about friggin' time. You're late. You owe me
Okay,
a
since
cheesecake.
since you talked about that, I said this in my last speculation video, and everyone's been talking about it, but I said it differently, and I wanted to get your guys' take on this. So, what if John Murdy throws a wrench in everyone's plan and makes a WWE Chamber of Horrors? Okay. Then
Okay.
on the right side, where the UBE lot actually is, on the right side of that, Isla de la Muñecas, right?
Mm-hmm.
On that right side, it's a swamp bill, right? What if
Yeah.
John Murdy says, you know what? You guys wanted it. You guys are going to get it. Now you get the WWE Chamber of Horrors. That's what I'm calling it. Chamber of Horrors. And then
Okay.
the Muñecas. But right in the dead center, what if we have the Wyatt Sick? It's still set in the swamp. It's still set in the weird, New Orleans type of feel to it, Louisiana feel to it. But
Right.
I see,
Right.
again, I talked to this with my daughter the other day, and we're both kind of wrestling fans. And if they're
Mm-hmm.
gonna do this, I mean, I'm telling you, go all in. I know it's gonna be one of those things where you're touching IPs and all that other stuff, right? But I would love for the icon, the Hollywood icon. Sorry, I'm taking over your space,
No,
but
you're
the
not.
Hollywood icon to come right in as he's ready to announce "Welcome to Halloween Horror Nights." It's a Bray Wyatt character, and he
Like
as
Uncle
he picks
Howdy?
up the lantern, huh?
Uncle Howdy? Or
No,
like
no, no,
the
no.
Fiend?
Bray Wyatt.
Bray,
No,
okay.
just Bray Wyatt
Okay.
comes out and he has his lantern up. The lights kind of like flicker, and he says, "We're here." And as he does that, you see everyone rise up, from the ashes,
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
and then he blows it out. Right, he blows out his
Like the
lantern. All the
lantern?
lights
Yeah.
turn out, and then you hear the icon, the regular icon, say, "Welcome to Halloween Horror Nights," and the entire place just lights up in flames. And here comes all the monsters.
Here they come.
See, I'm just saying, John Murdy, if you're listening to me right now, that one's free. That will light up everybody's live stream, everybody's phones, everybody's camera. That would be one of the most epic times ever.
It would be cool
Just
for
saying.
sure.
That, that would be.
Yeah,
But yeah,
I
that's
had
my
to bring this up.
speculation.
I had to bring
Yes,
this up
that.
because this kind of puts a little bit more fuel on that fire, dude. Is the Wyatt Six showed up on tonight on TV
That's right. Yeah.
because for Bray's birthday. So I guess I guess Bo Dallas has been hurt, which is why they've been off TV, which I think is a little weird. I hate. I got to be honest. I love this Wyatt Six faction. I hate the way Triple H is using them because
Correct.
they came, they showed up, they killed people, and then they just disappeared. And
Oh no, 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 no. They went on a losing streak. That's terrible.
did they lose? Who did they
They
lose to?
lost twice
That's
to
why.
some random tag team, and I'm like, what
Not
are you
the
doing?
not the what's
The
those?
last rivalry.
What the heck is that? What is that tag team with Chad Gable? Those guys.
Yes, they
Those
lost
guys.
to them.
See, that's why you don't try to build new teams at the same time. Yeah, that's
Correct.
not great. Yeah, they need to come back and they need to be strong. But yeah,
Yes.
I thought this was interesting that they're coming back,
Yes.
especially, and it's weird because Alexa Bliss has been on TV a little bit more, and she's still carrying the little doll around, and she's still kind of fiendy Alexa. She's not
Yeah.
goddess Alexa.
Right.
So people are saying, well, maybe they're going to lean her towards that. I don't know. Triple H needs to do something with them.
Yeah.
This
I heard no Alexa Bliss on it, unfortunately. I've heard that
I'm
rumor and I'm like, no.
I'm
They
okay with
a lot of
that.
people said, yeah.
Nikki's good enough because I love Nikki Cross. She's awesome.
Nikki Cross. Yeah.
The cool thing about the Wyatt 6 is that like all of them individually are awesome. Like they can all, I think they can all
Thank you.
stand on their
Yes.
own.
I
I
agree.
think they need to give what's his name? Oh man, the clown guy from the
I
heavy
don't
guy
remember
in the
his name.
back there.
Oh, Eric Rowan?
Not Eric Rowan, not the tall
No.
one.
Oh my God. Yes.
Freaking
I know what you're talking
that
about.
with the hair right there.
Yes, him.
They need to give him more mic time because dude can cut a promo. If there's anybody that I think can kind of carry the essence of Bray Wyatt,
That is true,
it's
Mike.
Let's see what Mike says. A couple hours ago, OC Register posted an article saying Six Flags laid off the president of Magic. Yeah, so
Sure.
I guess they broke the
They broke
the
the
news.
news. Yeah.
Well,
I saw
yeah,
that
so
on X, but
so there's a lot going on with Cedar Flare Six Flags. Six Flags. That it's kind of hard to keep up with. It seems like, guys, the company might be in a little bit of turmoil here.
I think what it is that they're it's like any business. If you combine businesses together, you start cutting the fat. So there's people out there who have titles above titles above titles who don't get touched. Like, what's your title? My title is this. What do you do? I oversee him. And so they're kind of cutting the fat. Well, we don't need this guy. We don't need that title no more because he's not really doing anything. He's been there for 40 or 50 years. Okay, let's cut him. Let's cut the fat. That's what the companies do. They cut out other people who are making too much money and they go down the list. It's like, oh, it's about their time for you to retire. So they give them their severance pay, their retirement, and then that's it. That's what a lot of companies do. They cut the fat and they cut down titles that don't need to be there. That's my thinking.
Yeah.
It's a shame, but that's how a lot of times it happens.
It is interesting that they're doing like a top-down approach. They're cutting guys from the top as opposed to just trimming all the fat from the bottom, like most
so they're always the top
corporations
ones.
do.
Where they getting paid all the money, so they we can cut this guy,
Yeah.
send him off to retirement, enjoy life. That's it.
Yeah. I don't know. It's
just hopefully it doesn't delay anything. Just hopefully
that's my fear. That's what I'm worried about.
Yep.
There's too much at stake here. They've got a big
Summer
project
Nights coming
Magic
June
Mountain.
13th, and hopefully, here comes Summer Nights, but we don't have this, we don't have that, and it's just like, okay, what are we doing?
Yeah, and there's
another peanut celebration.
Oh boy!
Don't say that. Don't say that. That's horrible.
I had to say it. I had to. Sorry.
I think Rafi's safe.
Hopefully,
I don't think Rafi's gonna get laid off.
I just think they're getting rid of all the old school people and bringing in the people that are new, and maybe the old school people don't want to change times. So people don't want to use certain methods, certain like internet. Everyone's afraid of AI and Chat GPT, but technically it's kind of the future in a sense. If you don't jump on that train, you're going to get left behind. Everyone said the same thing about TikTok and Instagram, and they didn't jump on it, and that's what people use. People watch. It's like free advertisement, pretty much.
I know. It's just it's kind of a weird. The timing is kind of weird, I think. Because it just there's so much like they think of all the stuff that's happened since this merger, right? We lost King Ka out of nowhere. Top Thrill went down again out of nowhere. Luckily, they brought that back up. Now, on that note, I will
And
say
Superman was cut
that
as well.
yeah, and I'm getting to that. If Top Thrill 2 does not do well this time around, if it goes down again, I think we're going to see the end of Accelerator. I really do. I think those rides are just too expensive for them to keep up. Superman went down. They just what did they hack like 6 parks? They said you're done in 2026. Crash, you're saying that there's people talking about Hurricane Harbor might be
Going
getting
away. Yeah.
might be next on the chopping block.
Yeah.
There's that's a lot of. I mean, at a certain point, where does the fat end and you start cutting into the muscle? You know,
Yeah.
I mean this. I don't know if I've gone to Hurricane Harbor over the summer and not seen it just packed, like just packed. Like even if it's somewhat kind of chilly outside, people still go to that water park. Maybe it has to do with the gate cost, or maybe they're just sick of ride maintenance. I mean, the thing about water parks is a lot of these slide models are just they're so out of date that like the construction costs and the manufacturing costs, and it feels like because you can't really update these water parks unless you just tear them down and build something new.
Right.
It seems like I feel like they're just feeling like it's just more trouble than it's worth.
Yeah.
I did.
Oh, we talked about that. Like the newest water park was the one in Irvine. Actually, I forgot the name of it again.
Raging Waters.
No, Raging Waters is in San Dimas. It's like River Rapids, something.
Wild
River
Rivers.
something.
Wild Rivers.
Wild Rivers.
There you go.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the latest and newest water park that has the high tech water rides and everything else.
I don't know. I think I really like the layout of Hurricane Harbor. It's themed really well. But if you want to see a water park, well, first of all, I mean, if you go to these all-inclusive resorts like
Great Wolf Lodge,
Atlantis, Great Wolf Lodge, yeah, something like, or even I was going to say Volcano Bay in Orlando. Apparently, one of the coolest water parks in the world.
I've heard about that. Yeah,
we'll find out, I guess, when we go in September. But I've heard nothing but good things about that, and I feel like I think that's because that's just the overall vibe of the park itself. It's all like it's cohesive. It's not just remember the 1950s. Here you go. We had water slides.
Before we jump on to other theme parks, I want to get back to one horror thing real quick.
Okay.
Since Sinners was a hit, who do you think is going to pick it up this year? If anybody picks it up.
I think it's too late.
You think so?
I don't think anybody's going to pick it up. No, I think it's too. I mean, because the only park I could think of picking it up would be Six Flags, because they have no problem with just opening things a month late anyway. So,
Castle Park,
I guess Castle Park could do it. Well, is Castle Park doing Castle Dark anymore? I thought I heard that they were not going to do it anymore.
Nah, I think they should do it. I know Queen Mary's coming back. I think Castle Park is coming back as well.
Yes. Y'all going on Friday the 13th?
I'm hoping. I really am.
They better not sell out
because
before
Sinners
I get tickets.
Was a hit that nobody expected it to be a hit. So I'm just gonna care who's gonna pick up that vampire theme. Who can pull it off? I mean, Knott's has Roaring Twenties. That's kind of like their theme in the sets, but I don't know. But
before we get off of
that, it up.
Would you guys think Arkham Asylum is really coming? I talked about this on my last video way before.
So we'll get into that now. We'll get into.
Go ahead. All right. What's the next on the menu?
So that was actually where we were going to go anyway. Was with Scary Farm, because we talked about David's awesome idea to put a freaking Sasquatch coaster. And I brought up so before we go to Arkham Asylum, I brought this up because I wanted to show you. I want to show you guys. So I don't know if you remember. It's only from a couple years ago. Horror Nights did Yeti.
Yeti.
and well, this is the second one. They did one in 2019. It was like Yeti something. This one's Yeti campground kills. But I'll just we'll just go through like a little bit of it because I feel like this is kind of the vibe that we were going with. I'll turn it down a little bit. But this is from 2023, so this is only 2 years ago.
Universal in Hollywood.
This is Orlando.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we never got anything this cool in Hollywood.
I was gonna say I don't remember that over here.
Grimoire?
Exactly, right? That's what dude, I was watching this going, they could easily turn Grimoire into this. Look, Grimoire right there. Even the costumes are the same.
Yeah. Oh, that is so dope. Yeah, I can see this.
Right? Good night.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
I don't know if it's a beekeeper. Oh, he smashed his face off. Look
Oh,
at that. He's
jeez.
got like 4 eyes. It's like mutated Yeti.
Anybody with flash issues?
Oh yeah,
Awesome.
epilepsy warning. Flashing lights.
Oh my gosh. Let's go. Dang. See,
Nowhere
that looks like a
safe.
little bit like cinema slashers.
Yeah, from the
Yeah, let's say little camp vibes.
the camp where the bear is.
Yes.
Right there.
Camp gonna get you.
Camp gonna get you.
Grimoire, cinema slashers.
There's your bear. Oh, that's a.
Oh man, that is very awesome. That is Mr.
Is that the
Poison
bear
on
from the movie
craziness.
Prophecy?
What'd you say, Crash?
Was that the bear from the movie Prophecy?
It might have been, dude. Big
You ever
long
seen
neck.
that 80s movie, that big giant bear that kills people in the
Yeah.
Indian tribe?
Oh my gosh.
Jeez. Comes and gets you. I mean, there's so many of them. Is that it? Yeah, that's the end.
Jeez, and it comes at the very end. That's terrible. Jeez.
That was Attractions Magazine. They had the best video of all the ones that I saw. Yeah, but so that, I mean, right? It works.
That was awesome.
Obviously,
Yeah.
it's also a proven formula. So that sort of thing could be something later on. Speaking of this year, I listen. Arkham Asylum. I'm sad that I didn't get to do it when it was at the Horror Made Here event over at Warner Brothers. I really wanted to. I'm a huge Batman nerd, and I would want nothing more than Arkham Asylum to come. I don't think this is going to be Arkham Asylum. I think if they're going to bring over an IP, I don't think this is how they're going to do it. I
think so.
I don't think it's so now on the other side, it's so far out of left field. Maybe. I'm sure you guys saw the video that was posted, which was like the latest video of what that facade looks like now. I did not pull that up because I will not do that. But I don't know.
Everybody's watching now. Just a PSA. Please, if you are a content creator, if you wanted to look at certain things, always, always, always eye
Do it the
view.
quick way.
Wherever your eye actually is, right there, please do not lay down. Do not go behind go backstage, stick your camera into something. Just be very cordial about it. You get your footage and then you can go. They're
don't
okay
go
with that.
over. Yeah.
Correct. Eye level. They're
Yeah.
okay with eye level. If you have to put your camera where the fence actually is, it's okay. Just don't put it through the fence.
Yeah.
You can put it right here. It's fine. There's a reason why those fencing has a little bit of openings because they don't mind you actually seeing their maze a little
Yeah.
bit.
Yes.
But please. That's it. That's my PSA on that one because I have to get that out. It's just please.
Well, because I mean, if there's one thing that we are, it's sticklers for park rules now because we've all gotten in trouble for breaking them. So it's like.
But you know what's funny about that picture? Is one was afraid to take it, but the other one with the M was aggressive and said, "No, we're doing it," and that's who got the picture.
And
that's kind of funny.
That's always been the dynamic of them.
That's what it feels like.
Yes. Yeah, and
I didn't know that, and someone said they saw them doing it, and then they heard the conversation. I was just like, "Oh."
It won't be the last time they do it either. Unfortunately, which it's fine.
Okay, so
we aren't doing it.
I'm gonna reel back.
Let's go back to the horror stuff.
Go ahead.
Okay, so Origins. I know everybody's talking about Origins. It needs to go.
Yeah.
Why don't they put a Catawampus maze there?
Yes. Exactly what I want.
I said, why not even go further than that and just make all of the wooden critters from that island where the Catawampus initially came from anyway. Make them all there, and you can still tie it into the Sarah Marshall story. You know what I mean?
There in the maze, so why not just give him the maze?
Yeah, I mean you can still tie it in with Ghost Town because it's still kind of a part of Knott's history,
and it's right there. Catawampus and Columbus Jr. They're right there.
Yeah, they're right next to Old McDonald's barn.
Yeah.
So you know when you walk in and you're kind of like into like the judges area.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I'm actually going to piggyback on what you guys said because this is beautiful. It really is, and I love it. It's a great idea. It's a beautiful idea because you walk in and you can get the little sounds of Sarah Marshall saying, "You think it's over? No, it's not over. Here are my younglings." Mm-hmm. And as you walk in, you're like, "Oh my gosh, what's happening here?" And it's all the monsters coming after you. It's like Isa de la Muñecas on steroids.
On crack.
Yeah.
I mean, the cool thing about Knott's is
I love those ideas.
Yeah, there's so much lore just because it's such an old park that you can do, and they like all these stories are built in to the history that they've already just kind of used throughout the years, and I think I'm hoping that's the way that they go when Origins is done. I think we talked about it being done after this year, right?
Yeah,
we talked about that last week.
And So-Called Saga once gone completely, but I think it still has purpose.
He's not a fan of
Sarah
Origins.
Marshall. And you guys know that Sarah Marshall's house, where the rocking chair moves, and then during Halloween, you can see her shadow inside the kitchen. So she's still there.
Yep. Does anybody know about the Tricksters?
The
Former Trickster. I wish they would bring back the Tricksters. This might be before my time. You're gonna have to elaborate, Mike. I don't know about the Tricksters. Were they street performers or was it birdcage stuff? I am very interested.
Now, I don't know how long I'm going to be back at Knott's Berry Farm because there's not that many updates, guys, to be honest.
Yeah.
But someone actually mentioned this in my last video. What if they brought back a maze inside of the bumper cars? I
mean, the Dark. Was it called the Dark or something like that?
It was.
It was Elvira, wasn't it? Elvira.
Elvira, yes.
Yeah. Yes. Oh yeah, Trapped was inside the arcade.
Just saying. I'm just saying, like that. That's awesome. That would be awesome.
I think that'd be pretty cool. I mean, people aren't going to miss the cars that much.
Oh no, let's not do a Halloween overlay on Berry Tales. It's already Halloween right now in Berry Tales.
I think the overlay is just here you go.
Like this.
It's a year-round Halloween overlay.
Right, yes, you're playing sniper mode.
Okay, yeah.
Come on, you got everybody watching this chat. I guarantee you're probably like this when you're writing the thing because you're like, I can't figure out where to go.
I spent the entire time on the ride, doing this.
Well, mine was vibrating. I think David was with me. And it was like, I was like, wait a minute, this thing vibrating? Like, I'm going to get shocked? It was weird.
I didn't even know they did that.
I can attest to that. I can
attest
to that.
It was supposed to do that. I was just like, it was just weird. I was just like,
I told him, I go, what if it goes?
It just blows up, and it's got boysenberry in it, and you're like, oh, authentic. So that's
How to
why.
use a different gun because if something was wrong with it, it's weird.
Hey, that would be okay, there you go. You got yourself a key.
Yeah, see?
Just
Boom.
street performers that roam with the Green
Witch and Trick or Treat maze. Okay, so and Trick or Treat. Oh man, I would love to see Trick or Treat back again. God, I love that. Well, I only did Lights Out. I didn't do the original one that he's talking about with the tricksters in it, but that would be cool because the Green Witch roams around anyway. And I think the Green Witch, it's weird because sometimes, like, I saw, especially last year, it was kind of strange. I saw her walking around a lot with the conductor. And I feel like those are like two separate icons, and they should stay
it's
away
they're
from
friends.
each other.
Yeah, they're close friends.
Well, the actors, you mean?
The actors, they're friends.
Yeah, fine. But when you're at work, you know, you go over there, you go over there.
Someone said that she travels through different realities and time because of the conductor. The conductor takes her through different realities of time.
Okay, so he is connected to the story, really. Then,
yeah.
Okay,
so watch next time if you ever see her walking with the conductor. When they go from one part to the next, like different attractions, you'll see him pick up the lantern because technically he's going from one end to the other, and he's traveling her into his reality. I don't know.
Okay.
I could be wrong, but
it's all connected.
That's what someone told me.
Scary Farm lore runs deep, man.
Yeah.
Like you don't realize it, but it all gets crazy.
Yes. It does.
But so we'll go back to I don't think that we're going to be seeing Arkham Asylum. I've been wrong in the past. But
so what does it look like now? Like, what do you guys think? What you speculate it's going to be there?
It still looks like a house to me.
Yeah.
Like I know it's got that weird that cobblestone wall, but those the colored balls throw me off, man. That's the Easter egg.
Yeah.
Unless
here's the thing: we don't know what Waxworks is. What if Waxworks is the maze? Is the Arkham Asylum?
That could be, and that could be it too.
Yeah,
might have to jump on Ghost Rider on Monday and see if because
last time I guarantee they're messing with us.
Dude, there's nothing in front of that maze. The last time I rode Ghost Rider, there was nothing. They might be, dude.
John Reddy probably told me, hey, they figured it out. Josh figured it out. Everyone else figured it out. You know what? Let's just work on the inside.
Let's just do the inside. And then I saw them painting on the inside. And they're like, okay, well, now we can't paint with the doors open because Josh won't leave us alone.
Right.
So now we're just gonna have to stay closed the whole time.
That meddling Josh.
So here's the thing though that's kind of funny is they took out the end of Waxworks it was like an extension built outside the actual warehouse.
Yeah.
So they took that down completely, which I guess that means they're not going to use it. So maybe the extension will be on the front of the house this year because they seem to be building the facades like bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
I don't think the facade for this new one where Bloodlines was, I don't think it's bigger than Widow's yet. But then you've got that whole extension on the side. So, and that looks like there's switchbacks in that little side room there. So it looks like you got 3 hallways already right there before you even get into the warehouse portion of it.
Right.
And Bloodline was pretty big too. Like that whole.
And it was also incomplete. It was never finished.
Right. Exactly. But I don't know if they have the room over there just because of the way the line works.
Right.
But what if, since they don't use that little pathway that goes under Ghost Rider, they can use that whole section, right? You can enter facing Widows and then come back to the warehouse.
Yeah, that's right.
If they build underneath there, nobody's ever going to see that. I don't even know if you can see that from the ride. But you can build you can start the extension there and wrap your way back around.
Yeah.
There's room there because they don't, the fast lane people, I think basically go in where the normies go now, us normies.
To answer Jonathan's question in chat, I don't think they'll bring back guns anytime soon because of the issues they had with bloodlines. Too
Yeah.
many people were smacking the monsters with the guns. I think the guns are pretty much gone
Yeah. I don't think
from there.
this is why we can't have nice things, people,
Nope.
because you can't just have a good time.
We
Yeah,
talked about that, Josh. I told you. See? Can't
Yeah,
have
no,
nice
I
things
know.
here.
It's true. If they bring back the guns anywhere, it needs to go to Magic Mountain.
yeah,
They need to go. It needs to go to Magic Mountain because they've got that whole outdoor area where Army of the Dead was. Plenty of space to use the guns out there, and you can keep the actors far enough away from the people to where you don't have to. It's not closed quarters like Bloodlines was, so you don't have to worry about any kind of contact. But I don't know. Origins first came to Haunt. They had a fake red barn placed in the backstage part of the. So I remember
Told
that.
you.
I remember that because you could see it from Pony Express. So, so they tricked a lot of people because that was it was Red Barn for the longest time, and
Yeah.
what was cool, it was funny because they didn't have to trick us. There was no reason for that because nobody guessed an Origins maze, or at least I didn't, and none of the people I knew did. Nobody had any idea what was going there,
right.
because for the longest time it was a chop shop basically. It was like it was hillbilly hell and stuff like that. So Origins being there was like it was like the start of a new generation,
Yeah.
because then they really that, and I feel like that's kind of when they started tying houses to the scare zones as well, because now they've got Grimoire and Mesmer and Room 13 tied to those zones.
Mhm.
So what? I guess that poses another question, and I guess we'll just kind of run this back from last week. If you change the house, do you change the scare zone with it?
Nope.
I don't think you can, right? Because these scare zones are the iconic part of Haunt.
Yep.
So, that being said, you change the house, but just make it kind of how we were talking about with Origins being turned into Catawampus,
Yeah.
or Grimoire being turned into Sasquatch. Keep the vibe the same, but different. Presents a much larger challenge for the creators for sure, because they have to stay inside the same theme but create a whole new story.
Yes.
Yeah.
John Murdy would have a field day with this.
I want to touch touch base with you guys on one thing, and it's been said to me. Not gonna talk to him about it or talk to me about it, but there's an issue. There's a major issue with Knott's Berry Farm, and actually, when we're talking about, let's say, the layoffs that are happening from OC Register, there's a major issue happening at Scary Farm, and it touch bases on this. There was issues last year regarding people that weren't being paid enough, people who were being verbally and physically abused, and having phones and flashes shoved in their faces, and now they're getting paid the same amount of money, if not less, to be a scare actor. And then you have someone that's weighing out food that's getting paid just as much as they are, if not more. And I think at the most part, with us, doing this, I wanted to just touch bases on that because that's terrible. That is one of the most terrible things you should do. You should be paying your scare actors.
Yes.
I didn't mean to be as like a bad person to talk about that, but we all need to talk about that. It's terrible.
Well, they should be paid for their talent and what they do and what they have to deal with. Because they're out there in character for like 7 hours and performing, so they should get paid a little bit more. And
Yes.
It's a dangerous
And
thing.
Mike, you are right. Everybody's been talking to me about that. It's a sensitive subject, but it's a subject that I think, at the most part, I'm going to be talking about it. I know we all are going to be talking about it. They need to get paid. That's the one thing. They have to get paid more than now than ever because of the new age of TikTok.
Honestly, I think the only way they can do that, and it's a scary term, and it might be a very long uphill battle, but to unionize, because like Mike said, this has been a thing for a very long time, and
Yeah.
it's something that I don't see, because I'm pretty sure that Universal doesn't pay their scare actors very much either. It's more than Knott's. Knott seems to be like bare minimum when they pay their employees.
Yep.
Even like specialized employees, like I said, when they wanted to hire me as an A1, they wanted to start me at 20, 21 an hour or something. And at that point, I'd had like 10 years experience, but anyway, but I think the only way I really think they could get away with higher pay would be to unionize. But if that was the case, let's say you have, because you've got a lot of like slider troops and actor troops. Like look at the amount of people that show up to March Madness at Knott's, like all those scare actors.
Yeah.
That's a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
You get them all to sign and go to, I don't know, IATSE or I don't know, a union.
Yeah.
The problem is you unionize. I could totally see Cedar Fair saying, we'll hire new people.
Yes.
We'll find somebody else for cheap for what we've been paying, $16 an hour.
Yes.
You know, and unfortunately, and you're right, and you see that, like you see that every single year at every single park, because people get 2 weeks in and they go, I don't have to take this, not for this amount of money.
Yes,
and they vamoose, they quit, they're gone. And we all suffer for that. Like as paying guests, the event just gets it erodes, throughout the season, and that's not fair. That's selfishly, it's not fair to us. It sure as hell ain't fair to them.
No,
and eventually, until somebody shows that it's not fair to Knott's either, I don't think they're going to change anything.
That is terrible.
Yeah, it's not good. It's sad. And it's easier for us to stand on a soapbox and say, pay them more money because we're not paying them. But like Crash was saying earlier, with these layoffs that are happening, trimming the fat, it seems like, and if you saw that news about Six Flags having that trajectory, they want to be making, X amount of money by 2028, in the billions.
Yes.
Why not invest in what's basically your entire company's cash cow?
Correct.
Because let's face it, without Scary Farm, Knott's is probably not around anymore. So, without Scary Farm, you don't have Horror Nights. Without Scary Farm, you don't have Fright Fest. There's a lot of things you don't have without Scary Farm. And it's been around for 52 years for a reason. And
the
every
first
year it
Scary
keeps
Farm
getting
goes
bigger.
out. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think it does feel a little bit stepped on. It does feel like it deserves a little bit more respect.
So you brought up Six Flags making changes. What's the future now, you think, for Six Flags now that they're changing, they fired the president? Cutbacks, move-ons, do you think they'll move forward? They're going to put everything on hold? They're going to...
Just strap in and hold on. I mean, I don't know. That's...
And how do you think that's going to affect, like,
it's beyond my
Knott, Cedar Fair? Like, what do you think everyone's going to be doing? They're like, okay, wait a minute. Maybe we shouldn't be spending all this money. We should wait. And that puts everything on hold.
Yeah.
But then you want to put anybody in panic, though.
But do they care? I mean, that's the problem. It seems like...
That's a big move. Now your president's gone, so what does that mean for all the festives that are coming? You have, the Villains coming out in June. Mm-hmm. You have the food, around the world food, and you have the Fright Fest.
No Flavors of the World this year.
No? I thought I saw it on the list. On SoCal Tall Guys, he recorded it.
What he told me was that was actually, they've just copy and pasted from last year and used different dates. Apparently Heroes and Villains is going to be way different this year. They're backing off of the henchmen and focusing more on the main villains and main heroes, which makes me very sad, because I feel like the henchmen were the best part of the Heroes and Villains Fest last year. I think the heroes, they should instead of cutting, they should have gone bigger. And I'm going to be honest, we're going to see this next year with Universal, with FanFest, it's going to be probably twice as big next year.
Yes.
Mark my words. Because it was such a success this year. It might already go out to Orlando. They might say, all right, go ahead and use it out there after 1 year. And Universal was just the distributor in this whole thing, apparently.
Yeah.
Apparently, this was a third party deal, and Universal was just like, yeah, use this. Let us put Back to the Future there, and you can bring in Dungeons and Dragons and Star Trek and One Piece and Jujutsu Kaisen. Fine, we'll just we'll sprinkle in a little Universal in there, and there you go. And
well, they got the movie thing starting in June. And they're adding more dinosaurs to Jurassic Park or Jurassic World.
Well, I think they're just going to add sound design. They're bringing those cannons back. They're bringing those cannons back. So apparently,
like cannons, right? Like blue screen dinosaurs or actual dinosaurs?
Nah, I don't think they'll bring back any dinosaurs. I think it'll be the same ride. I think they'll add a little bit more sound design to, because what it's supposed to be a Mosasaurus splashdown. So you're gonna hear the Mosasaurus go down the drop with you. And then when you hit the bottom, those cannons are going to go off that they used to have there. And from what I've heard, nowhere in the boat is safe from those cannons.
Really?
If you go on the ride, expect to be drenched.
And I will film you guys. So, I'm not riding that attraction.
And I that's my favorite ride in that park. It's one of my favorite rides of all time.
Right.
Even I'm like, I don't know, man. I hate soggy socks. I really do. I don't like having soggy socks or a wet butt. It's not my thing, especially in the middle of summer. So we'll see. I don't know. So look at this. Mike said that the presidential role was eliminated entirely. So would that be just the Cedar Fair presidential role or presidential role in general? This is weird, man. There's a lot. Like, I'm going to have to dig into this week because I feel like there's some nefarious stuff going on in the background.
Because usually when your head person gets cut off,
usually that's a fall guy.
Yeah. Or they cut off production. Like, stuff gets delayed or pushed back because now they're trying to figure out who's going to be in charge. And everybody has their own different visions.
Right.
Like, well, we shouldn't work on this. We should work on this first and then worry about this later.
Yeah, and it's weird because you can't have all these projects running with nobody heading the projects up. You're running around with like a bunch of chickens.
Find somebody to be in charge to take care of everything before you start expanding and doing stuff. Now, saying that, since a lot of things are happening with the food as well, do you think Soak City is going to be a success this year, knowing that nothing new is coming?
No, I think Soak City will be fine as far as attendance goes. I think the gate will be whatever. I don't think it's going to blow anybody away. I think not having food is,
or new foods. They're going to have food, but it's not new foods.
Like, that's what I mean. Yeah, new food. But last year they added that margarita bar, and people seem to enjoy it for a couple weeks. But look, it gets hot here in the summer. People are going to go to the water park. It's, when all's said and done, it's not that expensive. It's $55 to go. I wish the hours were longer. I wish it was longer than 10 to 5. I don't like it only being 7 hours.
Right.
Especially in the summer.
That's when Knott is empty because after 5 is when it gets crowded because everybody's coming over.
Yeah, exactly. And I wish they would stay open till 7, like at least in July and like the back half of June, like the last, at least for like 5 weeks, stay 10 to 7. Because it doesn't get dark here until 8:30 now.
8 o'clock, yeah.
So, you can be okay having, but I think that might be a money thing. I think they only want to pay one shift. Because if you extend it for 2 hours,
no president going on,
like another guy.
Yeah, so, what's going to happen with pay? I would be concerned if my president's being cut off. Say, okay, what else is going away? And it's kind of scary because Knott is known for cutting their entertainment, and so. Yeah, it's like, well, they're cutting entertainment, so Six Flags might cut entertainment because now they're cutting, and
they're already cutting entertainment.
Yep.
I'm gonna look into that Flavors of the World thing because I don't know. Last time I talked to Andrew, he said that there's no Flavors of the World, and he said there was something else that they cut too. I don't remember what it was. I don't. Was it Oktoberfest? I don't know. I think it was mostly Heroes and Villains, and then the Flavors of the World was going away completely. which is summer things, which
But I
sucks
think
because I love Flavors of the
going
World.
back to heroes and villains, I think people enjoy the villains more
Mhm.
than they did with the heroes.
Oh
So
yeah,
I think
the
the
villains had
villains
more
overshadow
personality.
the heroes. So I think people are like, okay, well, maybe we should have the heroes be on top and not the villains overshadow them. Then here comes that heroes like, I want to go talk to these guys. These guys are more entertaining.
And yeah, that might be why they are getting rid of the henchmen.
But Superman movie's coming out in July, so I mean,
Yeah. Oh, I'm so
promotion.
stoked for that too. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot. I mean, there's a lot to look forward to. But it's I don't know. Like I guess I don't know what to say about it until we see it.
Right.
Yep.
Because all I know is that all I did was interact with the henchmen last year. Those are the only people I interacted with. You know, I got my picture taken with Wonder Woman and Superman, but like you said, Crash, they didn't really have much personality.
No, they
They were
couldn't have
just they
stepped
were
there.
there.
Yeah, and
Let's
all the
take a
villains were the
picture.
ones were like very in character.
Yeah, and it's and if you see them like just every day throughout the park anyway, they're the same. You know, they go to their spot. They say, "Hey, how are you doing? Picture, get out of here." You know, it's I mean, and that's kind of how superheroes are anyway. That's how they're portrayed in the comics and whatever. But I don't know. I don't really know what to expect from heroes and villains because it's such a new event, and they're still I feel like they're still trying to kind of fit the niche of
Work out the
like
kinks.
figure out what it actually is. But what does it say? Knott's Entertainment being started when they hired a boss from Universal Orlando. Didn't know anything about Knott's.
I think being cut.
Well,
Being
Being
cut.
cut.
From,
yeah, started being cut.
that's interesting.
Being cut. Makes sense. Definitely makes sense. But how can you work for Universal Orlando and not know? Well, I guess yeah. If you're in Orlando, you don't really know anything about Knott's. It's not necessary. I guess Knott's is still kind of a boutique theme park.
It's probably because they come
the
from like money, and you go to a different job, and then here's your budget. You're like, wait a minute, I got pennies. Universal, I had dollars. You give me a penny budget. It's like, what do you do?
Exactly. I don't know, but yeah. So that's. I think we should cut it there.
Okay.
I mean, we ran a good hour 15. That's pretty good. And then maybe we'll just, if we can continue it next week, we'll continue it next week. If not,
I think next
figure
week we should
something
probably
out.
talk about what's going to happen with the leadership, because I'm pretty sure there'll be more information
Yeah.
leading up this weekend to next week and what is happening, and might see what changes are upon us.
Right. And
Which
so I think
hopefully nothing changes, but I mean,
hopefully, fingers
if
crossed.
leadership is changing, what else is changing? Like, what else are they cutting?
Well, and the thing too is they're very close. Like they try to like keep their door closed tight. Like they don't like when we know stuff before we're supposed to know stuff. So,
Right.
I mean, who knows like how close to the vest they're going to keep this? But I know a guy who likes to go sniff around Knott's Berry Farm and ask a lot of people a lot of questions. You know what I'm talking about. Yeah. So on that note,
I don't know if I'm going to be here next week though.
Well, yeah,
Because I do have a monster of a palooza.
Ooh, Monster Palooza next Friday.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh man,
I'll be there Friday, Saturday.
Friday.
Nice.
So expect a lot of content on Adventures with David's Instagram and X account, and a sick video on his YouTube for sure. Crash, where can we find you?
You can find me on X, Snapchat, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok.
David, where can we find you?
Every single social media that you can think of. Oh, everything he said, except for Twitch.
The man is busy. Same with me. YouTube, Instagram, X, TikTok, Twitch. Yeah. Well, this was fun, you guys. Thank you to everybody in the chat. Very much appreciate you guys helping us along the way. Hopefully, we'll see most of you guys next week. David, I know you're busy, but maybe me and Crash hold down the fort and we figure out what's going on from there.
So anybody watching right now, let us know in the chat below What should we talk about next? What should they talk
Yeah,
about next? What should we
Yes.
talk about next? Let me know in the chats and make
yeah.
sure you guys subscribe.
Yep.
I'll read it throughout the week, and we'll figure things out from there. But until then, we will catch y'all on that flippity flop.